I grew up in a small town just north of here called Sleepy Eye, Minnesota. I grew up on a farm and went to a very small Catholic high school, and once I graduated, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I chose Brookings, South Dakota. Once I got out there, I realized I really missed my family, and I missed the natural landscape of Minnesota, and so I moved back home so I could be near my mom and my sisters, and then enrolled myself in MSU. My mom kept telling me to pick something practical, so I tested out business, I tested out nutrition, but I kept finding myself wanting to go toward the liberal arts, and ultimately ended up with an undergrad in English, and then I came back for an MFA. I've never laughed so much as I have laughed at MSU. We used to have a thing here called writer's block. They were just great. They used to be held down on Riverfront Drive, just this dive of a bar. It was just a good mix of people in a good time. I recall nearly every one of my teachers from MSU. I'm still in close contact with several of them. I consider them good friends and people who are very important to my writing career, as well as my family life. From my undergrad, I remember Bill Lass. To this day, when I begin writing my novels, I pick up his book, Minnesota: A History, and look for information. To this day, I admire and appreciate Terry Davis, who at any moment was likely to say something that was quotable and that could change the rotation of the earth. It was Terry who first looked at my short story, The Turtle Catcher, and said, "You know, this isn't a short story. It's supposed to be a novel." And at that moment, I decided I'm going to be a novelist. Rick Robbins is one of the greatest blessings I think MSU has. His development of the Good Thunder reading series, which is so wonderful for drawing great writers from across the country to MSU. Roger Sheffer, who is also one of our dearest family friends, probably one of my first real readers who said to me, "Hey, this is good and you need to work on this." I think one of the greatest lessons that I learned at MSU was to be quiet in a room where a smart person is talking. I learned so many things just by listening to people who are experts in their field. I sold The Summer of Ordinary Ways while I was still in school, and I think it was out before I even graduated. And then I sold The Turtle Catcher right at graduation. Since then, my husband and I co-wrote a book called Horse Camp. It's a YA, which will come out this May. And then shortly after that, I sold another novel called Stillwater, which will be out in 2013. I'm working on 2 novels as we speak, and I have a collection of essays that I'm developing as well. I won the Toy Blethen Award while I was here, and the Robert Wright Award. It feels good to be recognized for what I've been working so hard to accomplish. But I also see it as a real nod to the program, because if it weren't for this program and the people who influenced me, I never would have tried it. My husband Nate and I currently live in lower North Mankato in a little old brown house. So Nate and I have 6 kids. I have 3 older kids from my first marriage, Isabella, Mitchell, and Philip, and then we have 3 little ones together, Violet, Archie, and Gordy. My sister Nevada is a student at MSU, and my sister Nia is a student at MSU. And if you hear that they need to have the whip cracked, let me know. I'll get right on it.